All right, I'm in the City of Lights tournament. This is the weekend round. I'm in my 99 account, so I got some low-level clubs here, and we're gonna go at it. So, just real quick here, let me fire this up here real quick. Fire up my recorder. So let's see. All right, we're going into the weekend round. We're in the City of Lights tournament. In my 99 account, and I want to see where I enter the bracket at. What I have for tiebreakers. So I'm fifth in tiebreakers in the bracket. Top player came in with a 30. Massive score. It's going to be super tough with these low-level clubs. 26 is definitely achievable. Let's see what third came in at. 25th. And the 23. They must have had a better qualifying round than me. They did. All right. So coming into the weekend round. All right, so coming into the weekend round here, I qualified fifth in my bracket. You can see where, so coming in when you first get into these brackets, if you're new to the game, when you log in, especially if you log in early on Saturday morning, and I usually will log in as soon as the tournament starts in all my accounts, and almost instantly, the bracket will fill up. So you can see where you came into the bracket. So here I came in as the fifth qualifier so I have 95 people in this bracket covered in tiebreakers. So if I shot a 26 or a 28 or the 30, these four people right here can beat me if they shoot the same score. So it kind of lets me know like where I come into the bracket. So when I talk about coming into these and trying to shoot the minimum score being minus 24, if I shot a 24, there's only four people here that could actually, if they shot 24s, would actually beat me in those tiebreakers. So knowing where you come into the bracket, because the whole goal when you first start is to have consistent finishes. So we want to try and have that nice consistent finish where we're minimum score, minus 12, minus 24 for this particular tournament. And if you come into the weekend round, this is the type of, and I didn't shoot the minus 12, minus 24, my 99 account. I think I shot a minus 10, minus 22 or 23. So coming into them, knowing where you're at with tiebreakers is very important because you want to come into these weekend rounds with good tiebreakers. And so going into it, I know if I can go out there and I shoot the minimum score, I'm looking at a top 10 in a lower level account. I'm looking at a top 10, easy top 15, and the whole goal is to get that top 10 because in the top 10, I'm going to win. And the chess stuff is not really that important. The deal is you're going to win 30 Titans. So there's 45 holes in a tournament, and you can take the 6 par 3s out, and that puts you down to 39. So that means 30 of those 39 holes, I could potentially bring out a Titan for that hole. So being in the top 10 and learning how to shoot just the minimum score. Don't worry about when you first start, everybody's trying to go for that win and they're going for it. The whole goal is to shoot the minus 24. Like this particular tournament, looking at it in particular, that minus 24 is going to net you a top 10 in a lower level account. So a top 10 is going to get you the ball so that the next tournament, don't waste those balls in one-on-one. Hoard them. Use Marlins, use Quasars, hoard these balls because if you can come in with lower level clubs and upper developed balls, you can compensate for for better clubs by bringing out a bigger ball. You can help your clubs out. What your clubs are really lacking is ball guide. So if you got lower developed clubs, there's a lot of things, you can get top spin and backspin and accuracy and all this stuff, but what you're really missing that really, really comes in handy when you have upper developed clubs is that ball guide. So any clubs that you have in your bag, like when you get a quarterback or a hammerhead, those types of clubs, where you've got that ball guide right from the get-go, and you can see like how much better it is when you've got those clubs with ball guide. When you get upper developed clubs, you have a lot of clubs that have ball guide. Not all of them. There's a lot of clubs that still don't develop ball guide. Like a big dog, for instance, it doesn't develop ball guide as it goes up. But as you go up, that ball guide is really helpful. But what can help you in the meantime is by being able to bring out bigger balls. That's why Playdemic sells so many balls, because balls will compensate. But what gets me is so many people waste those good balls in one-on-one. And then when the tournament comes around, You know, they're out there shooting a hole, a par 5 with a marlin, and what you really should have brought out was a par 3 ball. So we're going to go into this, and I've saved as much of my good stuff as I can. I've had to use a little bit of it because there's some holes that you have to bring it out. And so I think I have maybe just enough to get me through this round. And the whole goal is to try and net a top 10 so that I can get those 30 marlins for the next tournament. So let's go to Golf Clash Notebook, and if you're new to the game, Golf Clash Notebook is definitely a site that you want to use. And I believe that the person who does Golf Clash Notebook, there's a sickness, and so they haven't put the last 2 tournaments that we've had on here. Usually they update this fairly regularly, but all of the holes that are in the City of Light tournament are Parc de Paris, and it's the same way. Holes 1 through 9 in Parc de Paris are holes 1 through 9 in the City of Light tournament. Same exact tournament as the Metro Open, which we played here a year or so ago. So on hole number 1, 3 ways to go at it. Long iron, short iron, try and go for it. This long iron shot, when you come into the green, you need something with backspin. And even with backspin, you know, if you've got lower developed stuff and you got a Saturn, so you've been playing up to Tour 4, I think my Saturn in this account, and I don't have that many games in this account. Let me pop in here real quick. See what we got here. Hey, let's go to the home page here. 751 total games, 431 chests. So I've won 431 games, and that means I've opened up 431 chests, because I'm a big believer that if you're playing this game and you want to get your clubs upgraded, you've got to have an empty slot. If you don't have an empty slot and you win, you didn't get the chest. So it's not, you know, that goes towards your stats, but stats aren't making your clubs better. What's making your clubs better is opening up chests. So you've got to be able to open up chests. And you want to be able to, so I've got 431 chests that I've opened, and then the 431 chests plus whatever pin chests and free chests that you get. All these clubs came from that minuscule amount of chests. So it doesn't take much to get some usable clubs up to levels, you know, like my extra mile, level 6. That's not a lot of chests open. Big dog up to level 6. You're playing in rookie tournaments. The top row of clubs you're gonna get just playing in tournaments. And I don't have really anything. My Saturn is at level 6. It doesn't take very much to get these common cards, and people bitch about, I keep getting common cards, or I'm sick of getting. Hey, I will a maxed out set of commons. You know, if you wanted to go out and be super competitive, if you had a quarterback, a sniper, either a backbone or a Saturn, the claw, the darter, the skewer, I mean, a maxed out set of commons, machete. These clubs are awesome clubs. They have a lot of things that they can do. There's other clubs that have some things that they're really good at, but the common clubs are awesome clubs, and it does not take very long to get your clubs up to a very usable level. But there's some clubs that you definitely want to get once you get up to the Tour 5. You want a rock, you want a Guardian. I played one game in Tour 5 and I won that rock. All right, so I'm going to take on this hole right here. Let's go back to that hole. So the backspin with a level 6 Saturn is not, I mean, you can get up here, but it's not quite enough to really have a great look at it. It's so hard to get into the center pad that for the effort that I have to do to try and get out here and the risk of ending up in the sand. And when you've got lower developed clubs, one of the things that you do not want is to be in the sand or the rough. Number one, those clubs don't have a lot of distance, and you can find yourself in a spot of bother. From up here, you should be able to easily get on with a machete and a Malibu, but the deal is that you want to try and play in the fairway, and it's a very difficult shot to get over to here. I'm going to try, and I'm not sure that I can get it done with a level 6 extra mile. It's only got a couple yards short of a level 8 extra mile. I think it's 232. But I'm going to try with a 3-power ball and come out here and see if I can get on. The problem is that I don't have the top spin that you would get with an upper developed extra mile. And so there's a very good chance that I'm going to end up in the rough. But to be honest with you, I think my chances of getting in the hole up here from the rough are better than my chances out here with a long iron, because I don't have a long iron that has enough backspin to get me over here. So I'm going to try and get closer out up here, and I may end up using my rough iron. So my numbers for my rough iron, my machete, is 2.2 per ring at max, and my extra mile is at 2.4. So I'm going to make sure I got an extra mile, and this is my pony for for my rough iron. And the machete's not a bad club to have. It's got a lot of backspin. Distance wise, you know, like the top hitting club in the game, the once you get your, well, the Razor can match it up, but the Nirvana, once you get this Nirvana, and it doesn't take much, I think it's just a couple levels, and it's all of a sudden 129 yards. That's basically a long iron for your rough iron. But right now, a machete is awesome. And I don't know that I'll change even when I get to the Razor, even though the Razor's, you know, got a little better ball guide. Here, the backspin with a rough iron is very handy. There's a lot of times that comes in really handy. And I'm going to take a Titan. And it's selected. All right, let's get out there and get at it. And I got to be kind of sparing with them. I only have what, a pack and 5, so I only have 14 of them. So that means I can only use it on 7 holes. But I hoarded my Titans and saved them as much as I can so that I have a selection of them. There's some of the holes here, these par 3s, that I'm bringing other balls on. So I have Titans for this weekend round. So I've suffered a little bit during the opening and the qualifying round to make sure that I had enough for the weekend round. Part of the deal is in here is I usually do a practice round just to demo the lower level clubs, and so I usually go through a few more balls than I would if I was just playing, just so I can demo shots for you guys. Quasar's got 1 wind, so we're at 3-4, so the Titan's going to be somewhere in the 3 neighborhood, and I'm not sure. Hopefully I can get over there. It carries more on this drive than it looks like what it's going to do, but I definitely don't have the top spin, I don't think, to get out. But we're going to go for it anyways. So we got a 3-6 wind. Excellent. The bigger the wind, the better. I'm trying to go, see that gap in the tree right there where my ball guide's leading, where it's taller? I'm going for it. And this club does not have a lot of curl, so here we go. Hitting it great to the left, to the right, about 1 ring. See if I had enough distance. Just enough, but not enough to get all the way through. But I'm okay with that rough shot right there. Normally, I just told you a little while ago, don't end up in the rough. But where I'm at right there, I'm so close. The deal is that I think I have a better shot from there than my opponent does. So I don't have a Hornet, so I don't have a club that can get me, that can do the bounce over right there very well. And you can see when they're trying to get up there with their long iron to try and land on how much backspin they're going to need. And with a Saturn, you can stay on the green, but you really can't stop at the cup. It just doesn't have quite enough at level 6. When it gets to about, I think, level 8, then it starts, I think it gets more, whew, I can't believe it. That light was right there. They've strategically put these lights in some of these spots. I keep waiting on that drive shot to hit the light. Right. Well, let's see where my max club is. So I'm way out here at max. So there's max, there's mid. So I'm about a quarter of a club. I'm going to go out the edge of the cup. And I hit it great to the right. Anticipation. And it went just great to the right. If I'd hit that perfect, that would have been really close. The reason I do that out is so my machete hits 2.2 when it's at max. That's how I play it. And I know if you know the wind ring method, you look at it and you go, well, wait a second, it should only be like 1-1. It's like 95% accurate, or it's way up there at the top. That's because I have found, and the way that I play rough irons is that they're half their accuracy when they're at maximum club. And the closer you get to the target, the more accurate they get, and they get really accurate when you're close to the target. That's because of all the clubs in your bag, your rough iron, your sand iron, they can go from 0 to their maximum distance. Most clubs have a range. And so when you're in that range, they do get more accurate when they're in their minimum club. Let me make this shot here real quick. Oh, I missed it. Oh, just. You never know when you have a Firefly. Fireflies work great because you can do the topspin stuff, but they're super inaccurate. So when you're using a long iron or a rough iron and a sand wedge, the deal is the closer you can get. So when that club's max, I play at 2.2 per ring. When it's at about two thirds, I play it right around 4.4 per ring. When it's in a third, I play at 8.8 per ring. And then when I get to right there, I was in like the quarter range. So it's just, I play half the cup from the flagpole to the edge of the cup is 4 miles per hour. And so that's the way I was playing it. I'm going to let them shoot their shot and then I'm going to forfeit. I don't want to play any of these par threes in the weekend round. I want to save any hole-in-ones I have for the tournament. So I'll forfeit. But I will tell you that my shot of getting into the cup right there with that rough iron, in my opinion, even though the needle's going faster and you have to hit it perfect, my chances from there were better than from where my opponent was, because you can see how much you have to have from that distance in order to be able to even have a shot at the hole. And at least I had a shot at the hole from that. And there was zero chance with the topspin that I have that I could get over there, but I gave it the old college try. All right, that was hole number 1 of the Parc de Paris, and that's hole number 1 of the City of Lights tournament in the weekend round. Thanks for watching.